What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the PS5 Scalper situation. Stop me if you've heard this before, right? Because we've had this a few times now, definitely a few times, and I feel like it's only getting worse. I feel like it's becoming kind of obvious, and people, I feel like people were kind of ready for it, right? Like, I don't even know if there's disappointment in the air. I can tell you, like, from my perspective, when it comes to this PS5 the 30th anniversary, like, deluxe line, right? I really wanted that controller. You know, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on the bundle, and I already have a PS5, and I don't know, it looks really cool, takes you back, love the colors, love the look. I think they did a really, really good job. Honestly, I would have kind of liked to have seen them put effort into like the games that made them, big 30, 25, 20 years ago. A lot of these remasters, remakes that we're always talking about, right? But you know what, if they want to take it on the console and, kind of like stylize that, whatever. Okay, that's all cool. But the issue is we have scalpers going after it in very limited quantities. We've already been told that from PlayStation. And what ended up happening is these things sold out immediately. They pop up here and there. So I think real people were actually able to get it at points, right? Whether it was the actual console, whether it was the DualSense. A couple people that I've personally seen, secured the pre-order for the DualSense controller. But you just type it in, right? You just type it in on Google, PS5 Pro scalpers, and immediately all of these articles, IGN did a big one, Kotaku, Tom's Guide, all this stuff. And basically what's happening is, they're selling, and they've done it before, but you have these people on eBay and whatnot, I think actually primarily eBay, selling the pre-orders. They don't have it yet, obviously, right? So they got in, they were able to, take advantage of the system, a system as in like the online system, which they've done before, and they are selling these things for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Actually, sometimes more than what I just said, all of those numbers. So absolutely ridiculous. And it, again, like the feeling is like lack of fun. That's one of it, right? It's like, I don't even know how much fun it is to do these things, but also, again, I don't even know if I want to say disappointment. Now, like specifically from me, I wanted that controller, but like I just got the Astrobot one. There's a lot of games coming out. I'm not made of money. I'm definitely in that middle class area. So I'm not rolling in it. So I'm not gonna get these things myself. Okay, personally for me. But I can still think they look cool, and it's not like you can't sympathize or like see other people say, well, hey, well I want it. I'm excited for it. Well, that's good. You hope that the people that say that they want it and they would buy it and that they're fans, you would want them to be able to get it. Would you not? Would you want these people that somehow managed to get 10, 15 of these things and then try to quadruple the price online? And this again, like, is it shocking? No, we had this really with the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. Like, this just happened in 2020. And this is something that they have got, actually, honestly, you've got to fix this. I guess I'm talking about the industry. Really, it's everybody, kind of in particular. But like Nintendo, I get really worried about Nintendo because the Switch 2, we talk about the console wars and all this stuff. The Switch is just out there dominating kind of quietly, right? The Switch has always sold. Now it's died down a bit like in the last year or so. But the Switch 2, if it's even remotely close to the Switch 1, which it's going to be, right? It's pretty much just the Switch, the sequel to the Switch. That thing is going to sell like you've never seen before. That thing is going to sell more than, I think, the launch of the PS5 and Series X, maybe even both of them combined. I might be going too far, with my expectations, but I really think that thing is going to sell really, really good. And so, okay, you can't have this. You cannot have scalpers swooping in and just ruining it. And I don't know, when I was growing up, the PS1 and PS2 and even like the PS3, I just like the only time I ever faced shortages growing up when I didn't really know what was going on, right, was the Wii. The Wii took my family like a month or two to actually secure, and we waited in a line at Target, and I remember this story. I'll always remember this story, and we were in a line, and they had enough Wiis for everybody, including us, and then like two people behind us, and that was it. After those two people, there was more in line, but they only had Wiis for, that group, and it was exciting. I mean, actually, that was a really like I don't know, maybe like an endorphin type rush, but you'll like that. I would rather take that. I would rather take, and I guess that's what you get when it's all digital now. I talk about digital versus physical games. I've made so many videos on that on these channels. What about this though? This is really one of the biggest issues that we've faced when we've started to do this, when we've been so reliant digitally. And I mean, look, I've done it too. Like the PS4, I got through Amazon myself. Like I bought it. PS5, I got through Amazon myself. Series X, I think we got the Series X actually through Xbox, but we got that later. So I've faced no problems yet, but I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing more of it. And like for a situation like this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a celebration of their history. Literally, I just mentioned it, right? Like they chose, and I mean, I can respect it to a degree. They chose to go into, hey, let's style these consoles, let's style these accessories, and let's take you back to 30 years. This is how we're going to celebrate 30 years. And it honestly, in large parts, just gets ruined kind of immediately from like invisible people that you'll never meet these people. You'll never see them on the street. And, they find ways to get in and to get multiple of these systems when they shouldn't be able to. And then they sell it to you for 4 times it on eBay. And eBay's response, I saw some of it. I think IGN did it. eBay's response basically is that price gouging, right, which is like the practice that this is, it only applies to essential items. If an item is deemed essential. So I don't even know what that means. Like, what is essential? Food, water, like a roof over your head. Those are like essential things. Is like a refrigerator essential? Like, what is essential? But if it's not essential, they can do it. Because eBay goes after your account. If you do this with essential items, eBay will strike your account. You won't be able to sell it. But because and they actually said like a video game console is not essential, so it doesn't fall into that. Okay, I think you need to redo that rule. Whatever rule, and it's not a law, I guess, right? It's like something that eBay put together probably a long time ago. Whatever that is needs to be reworked, because I don't know. I just think there should be some practice that if you buy something, say for $700, it's tough because like I don't want to like restrict, like I believe in like a free market and stuff like that. I don't necessarily want to restrict it, but if you buy a limited edition console for $700-800, like, okay, once you get past like $1,500-1,600, you're clearly doing it just to take advantage. Like, and maybe you're doing it even at that point, right? But if you buy it for $700 and you sell it for $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, all right. I mean, there could be a variety of reasons why you're selling it. You can't prove anything, so maybe you let people get away with that. But when you're doubling or tripling the price, what's the excuse? Why are you actually doing that? There's only one reason why you sell something for triple, right? It's the same. I mean, it's in any market. If I buy an old game, right? I collect these old games. If I buy it and then I try to sell it for like 3-4 times, now I don't think my account would get attacked, but nobody would buy it because like that's out of the norm, right? You just don't do that. There's no actual reason why people do it. The only reason somebody triples or quadruples or anything like that, the only reason you would do something like that is to price gouge, is to literally screw people over because you found a loophole. That needs to be addressed. I think it needs to be addressed as soon as like April or May, because I really think we might see this with the Switch too. And then, specifically for PlayStation, Xbox, etc. And what can they really do? I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for something that's literally not possible, but you got to figure it out by the Switch 2, and then you really got to figure it out as well for, PS6, and which you got only like 3-4 years left until the next Xbox, next PlayStation. So I don't know. It really makes me upset, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising. It's just kind of disappointing. I guess it almost like is what it is. We've almost been beaten down into the state, right? But like what's supposed to be a fun celebration, it is just nothing, because yes, some people got it, but some people were waiting in a queue line for like 3 hours and then they didn't get it. Some people just flat out didn't get it because maybe they were working. Heaven forbid you work when these things open online and you have these lowlifes that just like stalk it or have programs online that figure it out, right? Like, yeah, maybe some people actually work. Some people can't be on their phone ready to go in the direct queue on that day at that time. They just get screwed because you're going to have somebody from God knows where buy 15 of these things and then sell you it for 5 times as much. How is that fair? How is that fun? It's not. It takes all of the fun out of it. There's nothing really more to say than that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel. Bell icons turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.